Hello everyone, welcome back to Relax History AI. The Wild West lives again. 20 legends, from Tom Horn and Pearl Hart to Bill Doolin, are brought back to life through AI in stunningly lifelike detail. They were notorious gunslingers, cunning outlaws, and unforgettable icons of a bygone era. Who do you think was the most fearsome? Who should we revive next? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Now join Relax History AI as we ride back into the untamed West.
Number 1.
Elfego Baca was a legendary lawman, lawyer, and folk hero of New Mexico in the late 19th century. Born in 1865, he became famous for surviving a 33-hour shootout against 80 armed cowboys, emerging alive and undefeated. The incident made him a symbol of justice in the Wild West. He later pursued a career in law and politics, earning respect as a public servant. Baca died in 1945, remembered for his courage, wit, and unwavering spirit.
Number 2.
Cherokee Bill, 1876. 1896, born Crawford Goldsby, was one of the most dangerous and notorious outlaws of the late American West. Of mixed heritage, Cherokee, African, European, and Native American, he embodied the complex identity of a frontier plagued by racial tension and weak law enforcement. With a string of murders, robberies, and bold escapes, Cherokee Bill terrorized the Indian Territory until his capture and hanging at the age of 20.
Number 3.
Dallas Stoudenmire, 1845. 1882, was a legendary gunslinger and a famed lawman of the American West. A former Confederate soldier, he later became the hard-edged marshal of El Paso, Texas. Known for his lightning-fast draw and fearless demeanor, Stoudenmire made history in the 4 dead in 5 seconds shootout, a gunfight that left 4 men dead in mere moments. His life ended in a bloody feud, but his legacy lives on in Wild West lore.
Number 4.
Frank James, older brother of Jesse James, was a famed gunslinger and bank robber in the notorious James Younger Gang. Born in 1843, he fought for the Confederacy during the American Civil War, then turned to outlaw life alongside his brother. After years of robberies and evasion, Frank surrendered in 1882, but managed to avoid prison. He lived until 1915, ending the long and storied life of one of America's most notorious outlaws.
Number 5.
John Chisum was one of the most prominent cattle barons of the 19th century American West. Born in 1824, He built a massive ranching empire along the Pecos River in New Mexico and played a central role in the Lincoln County War. An ally of both Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett, Chisum was a shrewd businessman and a key figure in frontier history. He died in 1884, leaving behind a vast legacy across the rugged plains of the Southwest.
Number 6.
Mickey Free, 1847, 1914, was one of the most unique and enigmatic figures of the American West. Kidnapped by the Apache as a child, he was raised among them and later became a renowned scout for the U.S. Army. Fluent in both native and white cultures, Free served as a bridge between two worlds, but also symbolized the tragedy of a frontier, torn by cultural collision and survival in a wild, unforgiving land.
Number 7.
Tom Horn, 1860-1903, was one of the most enigmatic and controversial figures of the American West. A former Army scout, Pinkerton detective, and notorious hired gun, Horn became a symbol of the lawless frontier's final days. His sharpshooting skills and solitary lifestyle earned him both fear and fame. Yet his conviction and execution for the murder of a young boy remain hotly debated, casting a long shadow over his legacy in the wild, unforgiving West.
Number 8.
Curly Bill Brocius was a notorious outlaw and gunman, the unofficial leader of the Cowboys gang, in Arizona during the 1880s. Born around 1845, he gained infamy for his violent nature and for killing Marshal Fred White in Tombstone, a sworn enemy of Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. Curly Bill was eventually shot and killed by Wyatt Earp in a dramatic gunfight in 1882. His death marked a turning point in the bloody clash between lawmen and outlaws in the Wild West.
Number 9.
Soapy Smith, born Jefferson Randolph Smith II, was one of the most notorious con artists in late 19th century America. Famous for his prize soap swindle, he ran a sophisticated criminal empire in Denver, Creede, and Skagway. Using charm and corruption, Soapy turned himself into an underworld kingpin until he was shot dead in a dramatic gunfight in 1898. His life was a wild blend of cunning schemes and frontier legend, making him a symbol of the lawless American West.
Number 10.
William Quantrill was the infamous leader of a Confederate guerrilla band during the American Civil War, known for his brutality and controversial tactics. Born in 1837, he commanded Quantrill's Raiders, a unit responsible for the 1863 Lawrence Massacre that killed nearly 200 civilians, hunted relentlessly. Quantrill was eventually shot and killed in 1865 in Kentucky. His name became synonymous with the dark side of guerrilla warfare during the Civil War era.
Number 11.
Pearl Hart, 1871, after 1928, was one of the few infamous female outlaws of the American West. Born into a middle-class Canadian family, she abandoned a stable life to chase a rebellious sense of freedom. Hart gained notoriety after robbing a stagecoach in Arizona, one of the rare such heists committed by a woman at the time. Her image as a lady bandit of the West captivated and shocked the public in equal measure.
Number 12.
Judge Roy Bean, 1825-1903, was one of the most eccentric and iconic figures of frontier justice in the American West. Proclaiming himself the law west of the Pecos, he ran his courtroom out of a saloon in Texas. Despite lacking formal legal training, Bean became famous for his odd rulings, dry wit, and colorful interpretations of the law. His legend captures the blend of lawlessness and charm that defined the wild and unpredictable spirit of the West.
Number 13.
Bill Doolin was a notorious outlaw of the American West and the founder of the Doolin-Dalton gang, infamous for bold bank, train, and post office robberies in the 1890s. Born in 1858, Doolin was once a cowboy before turning to a life of crime. Known for his cunning and remarkable escapes, he eluded capture multiple times. But in 1896, his run came to an end when he was shot dead by a posse of lawmen.
Number 14.
Emmett Dalton was the youngest member of the infamous Dalton gang, known for their daring bank robberies across the Wild West. Born in 1871, he took part in the gang's ill-fated double bank robbery in Coffeyville in 1892, where his brothers were killed, and Emmett survived, despite being shot 23 times. Sentenced to life in prison, he was pardoned after 14 years. Emmett later became a writer and actor, living until 1937 and turning his outlaw past into legend.
Number 15.
Ned Christie, 1852–1892, was one of the most controversial warriors and leaders of the Cherokee Nation in the American West. Initially a respected member of the Cherokee National Council, he was accused of murdering a U.S. deputy marshal, though many believed he was wrongfully blamed. Hunted for 5 years, Christie took refuge in the mountains and fought fiercely, becoming a defiant folk hero. His story endures as a symbol of native resistance and pride.
Number 16.
Lillian Smith was a skilled sharpshooter and a standout star in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Born in 1871, she rose to fame as a teenager, thanks to her incredible marksmanship, often drawing comparisons and rivalry with Annie Oakley. With her bold flair and rebellious spirit, Lillian became a symbol of fearless frontier women. She died in 1930, leaving behind a legacy in the history of Wild West entertainment and early female empowerment.
Number 17.
Clay Allison was a notorious gunslinger of the Wild West, known for his volatile temper and violent shootouts. Born in 1840, he served in the Confederate Army before becoming an outlaw. Allison gained fame for once carrying around an enemy's skull as a trophy. Though feared, he famously claimed he never killed a man who didn't need killing. He died in 1887 in a bizarre accident involving a wagon, adding one last twist to his brutal legacy.
Number 18.
Big Nose Kate, born Mary Catherine Horany, was the longtime companion of Doc Holliday and one of the most rebellious women of the Wild West. Born in 1850 in Hungary, she immigrated to the United States, working as a nurse, saloon girl, and sometimes an accomplice in Doc's escapades. Known for her grit and fierce loyalty, she became a frontier legend. Kate lived until 1940, closing the chapter on one of the most colorful lives of any Western woman.
Number 19.
Cynthia Parker was one of the most tragic and iconic figures of the American West. Captured by the Comanche as a child, She was raised within the tribe and married a chief, becoming the mother of Quanah Parker, the last great Comanche leader, later rescued by whites. Cynthia struggled to readjust to her former life and lived in sorrow until her death in 1870. Her story remains a powerful testament to cultural collision and identity loss on the frontier.
Number 20.
Tom "Black Jack" Ketchum was one of the most infamous train robbers of the Wild West. Born in 1863, he led a daring gang that targeted trains across New Mexico and Texas. After a failed robbery, Black Jack became the only person in New Mexico ever executed by hanging for train robbery, a sentence carried out in 1901. The botched execution was so gruesome it made headlines, turning him into a chilling legend of the outlaw era. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to share it with your friends and hit subscribe so you won't miss our next exciting content.